Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's cooking show from Moley Robotics, the world's first fully robotic cooking machine that cooks meals from start to finish. Thank you all for joining us, whoever's here so far, and hopefully we'll get more joining. Please do send in your questions or any comments you have. It will be good to actually see them, and I can reply to them as well at the same time. So today's recipe is going to be a very lovely traditional Italian recipe, which is a gnocchi. Now, gnocchi is a very traditional recipe in Italy, and it's enjoyed by many. It's one of my favorites, and it's a nice simple dish, and we'll go through the whole process of how we load the containers on our special shelf platforms here, and also how the robot will use the different utensils. So let's start cooking. So first of all, we go to our recipe library and we select the gnocchi recipe itself. Here we have a selection of our recipes, and here, so today the gnocchi is going to be a combination of, because gnocchi can be cooked in many different ways. Today we're going to cook it with sage and Parmesan cream, which is really tasty. So a little twist on gnocchi, but it's a nice traditional Italian recipe. So let's go straight into the recipe, and we'll go through the whole process of loading containers and starting the robotic to cook. So here's the gnocchi recipe. Now here you see the list of ingredients and the weight of each ingredient required. So it's a lot of information on our AI tablet. Also tells you the equipment required as well. So we've got 2 medium pots here. We've got a mesh basket which will pick out the gnocchi from the water and tip into the sauce, and obviously the sauté spatula for the stirring of the actual sauce itself. We also include nutritional facts for all our recipes because nowadays a lot of people are, in tune into knowing what they're eating. They want to see the level of carbohydrates, protein, and sodium. So for each of our recipes, we give a detailed fact on each of the ingredients, so you know exactly what you're eating. So let's go straight into the robotic cook. So you have at the bottom you see a manual cook where you can actually teach yourself how to cook a recipe, and you can do that with all the recipes. So you can cook manually, or you can cook with the robotics. So today we'll cook with the robotic, and here we have the pictorial diagram of the full cooking station. So you see there the shelves, you see the utensils, you see the arm, and you see the hob. So it's a very, very clear way for you to see how to load and prepare the different ingredients. So let's start with the olive oil. Now the olive oil is already in position on the shelf here at location number 1 on the top shelf, and always make sure that there's all in there. Yes, there's all in there. That's fantastic. So it's in location. I'm going to confirm the location that it's there. So location number 1, confirm location. Next is the butter, unsalted butter. We'll put it on the top right, and also you get the weight required on all the ingredients. So I'll show you on one of the ingredients how we have an integrated scale system which will help you weigh all the ingredients as well whilst you're loading and preparing. Some of these, you notice I've prepared some of these ingredients already just to save a bit of time. But I'll show you on one of the ingredients how the scale system works as well. So let's go with the butter on top shelf at the end. And I'll confirm its location. Next will be the garlic and the sage, top shelf, location number 2. Wonderful. Also, there's a video on each of our ingredients. It actually shows you how to prepare the ingredient, how it should be chopped, if it's finely chopped, coarsely chopped, or loosely chopped. So it's very informative in terms of how the actual ingredients should be prepared. So let's confirm this location. Next is the white wine, and the sea salt. That we'll put in location number 3 on the top shelf. Yeah. Number 3, confirm. Next is the double cream and a Dijon mustard. That's at location number 4 on the top shelf. Location number 4. Confirm the location. And then the Parmesan, well, I'll do the Parmesan later. I was going to show you how to actually weigh the Parmesan cheese. So let's go straight to the molten sea salt. We're going to be putting that, and that's 15 grams of sea salt. Now, it may seem quite a lot, but actually, it's just purely there to go in the water to give a taste to the actual gnocchi itself. Now, with the amount of salt and so on in general, with all our recipes, you're also able to control. So on certain recipes, if there's, say, for example, 10 grams of salt, and you decide you want lower salt intake, you can actually just reduce the amount of salt you use. But that won't affect the cooking operation for that particular recipe. So you have a fully flexible recipe all the time. So let's put this in location number 5, confirm. And the fresh gnocchi itself. Here we have the fresh gnocchi in the long container. Give it a bit of a shake. And that's at location number 1 at the bottom shelf. And water at location in the actual pot itself. Now this water will be boiling the gnocchi, so I'm going to grab the water from the sink. There you go, that's enough there, yep, perfect. So water goes straight into the pot, so it's all there and ready. There we go, that's done. Whoops, there we go. So that's the water's already, so confirm that. Excellent. Now, Parmesan cheese. I'm going to show you how the scale system works on our tablet here. So here we have the scales. So I'm going to turn on the scale itself. Now the scale is already linked via AI to the tablet. So turn on the scales and select Parmesan cheese and select the container it's going to go in. Now you see at the bottom it's already got the scale indicator on there. There's a small diagram of how I should prepare. I've actually grated the Parmesan already because, again, to save a bit of time. So that's already on there. So let's put this down to 0. So it's requesting 11 ounces of Parmesan cheese. So let's put 11. 11. Actually, it's actually 11 pounds, so I'll put all in there. There we go, that's in there. So that's according to the weight. I'll put a little bit extra. I like Parmesan, to be honest with you. I like my gnocchi to be quite cheesy, pardon the phrase. So I'm going to put the the Parmesan cheese at the bottom shelf, location number 1. And I'm going to confirm that I've done that. And there you go. So that's all the ingredients. Now it's quite simple. Some of it is already prepared. Some of it's already comes, for example, some of the chives and the sage already came chopped. I just simply took out the packet, put it in the container. And these are all fresh ingredients, by the way. These are fresh ingredients, literally just picked up from the store or delivered to us, literally, you know, a couple of hours before. That's also one of the other features we have on here to get ingredients. Now, maybe before I start this particular recipe, I'll show you in terms of getting the ingredients. You can actually get ingredients. So say, for example, you're on your way home and you want to remind yourself and you want to pick up some of the ingredients to make gnocchi and you know you don't have some in the fridge at home, you can actually send yourself a text message or WhatsApp message to anybody's phone, to your phone or to anybody else's, to remind them to bring the ingredients. So when you receive them, it's fresh ingredients going into the recipe. So that's indicated on our tablet here as well. You see along the top there, you can put your number in, WhatsApp message or email as well. So you've got a selection of how you can send the message. So let's go back to the dish itself. Because I'm just going to quickly go through the whole confirmation of all the ingredients, if you just bear me a second. Yep. Garlic and sage, number 2, yep. White wine and sea salt, yep. White wine, number 3. Mold and sea salt at the end. The cream and the Dijon mustard, there we go. The Parmesan, which I just freshly prepared and weighed, bottom shelf, there we go. The Gnocchi I've already installed on the bottom shelf, confirm. And the water I've already put in the pot itself, so I confirm that as well. So there we go, that's all done. Confirm. There we go. So second part is just preparing the equipment. So the equipment that's going to be using is the spatula and the mesh. Mesh is going to be used to take out from the pot. Now you'll see the 2 pots. So this system is also, with certain recipes, 2 pots have to be done in parallel. So this, we are able to do that with all the recipes, relevant recipes that need this requirement. So on one side you could be cooking the sauce, on the other side you'd be cooking the pasta. There's no need to cook them separately. It's done in parallel, exactly the way a chef would probably cook this meal. And you'll see when the movements start on the robotic arm, what kind of movements it does in terms of making sure it has very similar movements to an actual chef cooking this meal. So medium pot is in its location, gives me an indication on this screen. It's in location and I confirm location. That's done. Medium pot, second one in location. I've already confirmed that the water's in there. That's done. Slotted spatula. Now, as I mentioned before, this is very pictorial. It's a very diagrammatic view on our tablet, which is really important to make sure that the utensils are the right way. So instead of this way, which won't give it a very good stir, it's actually installed the correct way. So the imagery on the tablet is very important to all our recipes. Confirm. And the mesh as well. Again, the mesh is important to make sure it's facing the right way. Make sure second hook, yep, that's fine. That's exactly how I wanted it. So let's confirm. You've also noticed some of the sound in the background, which is basically, it's a voice notification. So each process, each part of the cooking process, there's a voice notification from the stirring to the pouring to the turning of the hob, turning on the temperature. So everything's done to really accurate, precise timing, which is really important. So everything is done. I can just start the cooking process. I can literally just press start.
Turn the hob on.
The hob will now turn on. The arm will just turn on the hob itself, which is perfect. There we go. Now literally, this recipe is 22 minutes. For 22 minutes, I don't have to do anything. There is nothing for me to do now, apart from maybe clear up from before, make sure the kitchen is nice and clean, or set the table, and make sure that it's something I don't have to worry about after eating a nice meal. Because sometimes, you know, when you're having a nice meal, you've done all the preparation, you started cooking it, but in the back of your mind, you're having a nice meal, but you know you have to clear up afterwards. But this is time saving. This is going to save that bit of your time, so you can actually do the clearing up and enjoy the meal a lot more, or enjoy the meal with family and friends. Now, 22 minutes, I can go away. I'm going to do some work, and in fact, I'm going to see some of your comments. So please do send in your comments. Any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer them. Send them through. So like any other day, I could, if I was at home, for example, I would sit down and I know my meal's being cooked. I can carry on with my work. I can do my day's work. Or if it's during the weekend, I can maybe go and sit down and watch some TV, take the dog for a walk, for example. With the children, I could probably go back and do some homework with the children, make sure they're all set for the evening. This is cooking in the background. This is taking all that time and saving you time to do other more important things. So it's cooking away. I'm going to just go grab myself a little coffee, and I'm going to read some of your comments and questions, and I'll start answering some of those. So please do send in some of your questions. Oh, by the way, the actual hob, it also turns on the downdraft extractor. So this downdraft extractor can either be filtered, so it recirculates the air into fresh air, or it can be ducted. The system here, this is our X-Air model, can be integrated in any existing kitchen, or we can integrate it into a new kitchen, because we actually do all the complementary furniture, the worktops, the drawer units and everything you just see behind me here. So we can design this in any kitchen environment. You may have an island, for example. You may want to have this as a central feature of your kitchen. So we can build this and integrate it on an island system. And you may just want to have it, as you see it here, with a peninsula, or if you're tight on space, we can do a compact version, which we call the B-Air, and that's all against the wall. So everything you see here is more or less wall mounted. So the arms are closer to the wall, the shelving is closer to the wall, so you can have it in a sort of like galley. If you've got a galley type kitchen where you're restricted on space, this is also workable in those sort of areas. So the garlic is going in with some of the sage, and this is where the smell really starts coming out, because when the garlic goes in and it starts sizzling with the oil, that smells really good, especially with the sage. So let's read some of your questions, see if we've got any queries. So let's read some of your questions, see if we've got any queries. That's good.
Take spatula.
Great to see more people joining. That's fantastic. Maybe just quickly check, make sure, yeah, it smells good.
Stand hot one.
So, for some of you who have been following Moley for over the years, obviously you know that this was designed in 2014, went through a lot of development, and we were working out of an office a few years ago, and we opened our showrooms here in the heart of London towards the end of last year, stroke January this year. So since then, in the previous models, you may have seen the two-arm system that we had. Now, with any sort of new product coming to market, there's always going to be the element of the product evolving. So we had to evolve the product, and we had to look at lots of different areas of cost, manufacturing, production, etc., etc. And we looked at the sort of like pricing levels of kitchens in the luxury market. So we came up with a single arm system. And this is really, really adaptable. It comes in at a really good price level. For example, a kitchen like this with the robotic arm is actually the same price as a luxury kitchen on a high street. We have in central London here, we have a family of kitchen companies. We have Pog and Paul, we have Boffy, we have Simatic. We have so many companies here that sell high-end kitchen, luxury kitchens. And we managed, by our product evolving over the years, especially most recently with a single arm system, that puts us within that price bracket of affordability. So it's affordable for everybody to buy. So it doesn't become very expensive. Now the two-arm model, the cost was quite expensive at that time. So maybe in the future, we will look at a two-arm system. But at the moment, we only have the single arm X-Air model and the single arm B-Air model. And but it can be integrated into any kitchen architecture. Oh, great to see more people joining. That's good. Please do keep having your comments. Please do keep sending in your comments. Be happy to answer any questions or queries you have. Just going to quickly grab my laptop charger, just bear with me a second. Okay, that's all plugged in, that's great. Excellent, excellent, so we've got Angelus joined us. When do you think the next future model will be out? So, like I said, we're always developing and coming out with new models. We'll probably make an announcement on the website as and when a new model comes out. But with robotics, it goes through a vigorous test. We have a very vigorous testing program. We have to meet certain CE regulations and safety protocols. So we go through a lot of vigorous testing, but we make an announcement on the website. So carry on following us, and you'll see any information, especially on different social platforms as well. So some of the more frequently asked questions we have, obviously not necessarily today, but sometimes we have through our website and our contact us page. We often have a few questions that people raise in terms of safety and so on. Yeah, the kitchen can be operated by voice assistant, as I mentioned before, and also the actual actions are carried out by the robot and can be announced during operation. So that is our voice system, a voice notification system that we use. So you can hear that in the background. If you're in the same room or a different room, you can at least hear the recipe being cooked. Another question we often get asked is, how much does it cost? So our system starts at roughly about 80,000, and the 80,000 gets you the whole system complete. So literally a full kitchen unit. So you've got the hob, you've got the induction hob, you get the induction pans, you get all the cookware, you get the utensils. Now these utensils are actually off-the-shelf utensils made by KitchenAid, but we have to set the arm and the grippers to exactly the dimensions of those particular utensils. But it can be used with any, but we tend to use the KitchenAid because they're much more easier to use, easier to grip, and it's safe, which is very important as well. So, another question sometimes we have. Oh, okay. Robot Architect, did I read that the system is provided with a database of 500 recipes, or was it 5,000? So, answer to your question, Robot Architect, is that initially that's our projected total of recipes that we'll want to reach. At the moment, on the single arm system, we've got 50 recipes at the moment, but we are uploading about two to three recipes per month on a regular basis. So that's always increasing. And the actual types of recipes, they're worldwide recipes, they're vegan, they're vegetarian, low calorie, lots of different, and also from different parts of the world. So we do a lot of Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, Italian, Indian, Asian, Korean. So we cover a broad spectrum of different regions to give you all as many different recipes to choose from as well. And all these recipes are also tested and loaded via all the algorithms by our in-house chef as well, who gives all the information to our team. Our team is based here in London as well. And we also work with other chefs as well, other Michelin star chefs, to bring their recipes into our library, similar like Tim Anderson, for example, and other well-known chefs. So yeah, our recipe library is always growing, is always increasing, and there's always something there for everybody to use. Great, see more people joining, fantastic. So on the actual tablet itself, you'll also see indicators on there. So we have a flagging system, so you can see each of the actions at what time and so on. And at the bottom, it tells you the percentage of how far the recipe is being cooked. So, you know, if you're not in the room, you could be in a separate room, or you could be just watching TV, for example. At least on your app, which could be on your phone or a tablet, you can see how the recipe is being progressed and know when that recipe or the meal is going to be ready to eat. Another very interesting question we often get through the website as well is, can I add my own recipe? Yes, you can. So what we would request is for the recipe details to be sent in to us. Our chef will have a look at the recipe, redesign the recipe slightly if we have to, in terms of the certain movements that the robotic arm can make. Give that information to the team downstairs. They'll load the algorithms, they'll do some testing, and your recipe could be in the cloud for everybody to share. Okay. Another question we often have is, how long would the kitchen take from time of order? So it depends obviously on the architecture of the kitchen, how many units, or if it's a standalone model. We also have the chef's table as well, which is a standalone model, which is totally independent from the kitchen. So say, for example, you've recently refurbished your kitchen and you want to introduce this and you have the space. If you have the space of, say, about approximately 10 square feet, you can actually get one of these chef's table, and it's a total independent unit. The lead time on our orders are about 3 to 6 months. And that gives you an indication of how long it will take to get one of these systems. Another question for Angelus. Can you please tell us a bit about the robot maintenance and professional servicing? So, maintenance-wise, to be honest with you, this arm is tested for 35,000 hours. That's probably almost a decade's worth of if you imagine a decade's worth of cooking, you're going to have no problems with the arm. It's really robust, and it's made of a very high level, high industrial level, but we adapted it for a residential use. So there's not much maintenance involved, but we can also, after our initial 1-year warranty, for example, on the whole system, it can be extended, so you can extend your warranty over a certain period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year period. So it's an extendable warranty, but the first warranty, first year is free, is included. And the servicing element, we have, as I mentioned before, we have a team here based in the UK. So servicing-wise, If it's within the UK, we can deploy them quite rapidly if there's a servicing issue, and we can come out, service the arm, check all the components and the general workability of the whole system. Because remember, underneath the actual arm, you have the frame. Where the frame is also is located the control box and also the PC system. So not only can we actually do a diagnostic via using our cloud system, we can also do the same thing on site and check, make sure everything's okay. And we can set up a service plan, so we can come out every 24 months, for example. We can come out and do a service, or once every 5 years or so on. But it's totally flexible. We're flexible on that side in terms of setting up a service plan. Interesting question from Roxy Robinson. Does it come preset with restaurant-style recipes, or is everything added per owner at their leisure? So it will come with all the preset recipes, but as I mentioned before, if you want to add one of your own recipes, we can do that as well. But if, for example, the commercial system, with the commercial system, we can add recipes. We just require the workflow diagram, and again, like a normal recipe for a residential, we'll have a look at a recipe for a commercial and see how we can make that work in terms of the cooking operation. And obviously with the commercial, the whole architecture will be slightly different, because you'd have to have a stainless steel, you'll have to have your gastro containers and so on. So we have a different design for the commercial sector. So this is a meal being cooked, which is gnocchi. Now, sometimes people have these meals delivered by like a delivery service. Now, obviously, with delivery services and meals that you receive, you don't know what ingredients have been used, because in general, they use a lot of enhancers and E-numbers and preservatives in their food, because obviously they've got to make at a higher level, they have to have a higher production rate and so on. Whereas you've almost cooked a whole meal fresh, as if it was delivered, because the robots delivered it to you, literally. You've not had to do anything. Because normally when you order something to be delivered, you have to wait 15, 20 minutes. Whereas in 22 minutes, I've chosen the ingredients, I prepared the ingredients, and I know exactly how much salt I've put in here, I know exactly how it's been cooked. So in essence, it's all about healthy lifestyle. I think nowadays people are really focusing on healthy eating. A lot of people want to keep the weight down and keep the heart healthy and keep themselves healthy. A lot of people are now really in tune with healthy eating. So this gives you a good, really accurate and controlled way of having healthy food more regularly, but at the same time enjoying different varieties, different recipes from around the world. We do, for example, shark cuisine. Now, shark cuisine, it's a wellness cuisine from Spain. Now, these particular recipes, you've got fish stew, you've got white bean stew, you've got lots of different varieties. Now, these recipes are very high in nutrition, very low in calorie. So if you're really on a very strict regime to lose weight but still maintain a healthier lifestyle and good nutrition and still feel that you've eaten a decent meal, these are the sort of recipes we are adding to our library. All the other recipes, you see the nutritional values in all the other recipes. They're all quite healthy recipes as well. Again, you can be flexible in terms of salt or oil and so on. If you want to not put any salt in a recipe, no problem. Don't put the salt in the container. it doesn't need to, just because there's no salt, it doesn't mean it won't cook the recipe. You are in full control of each of the recipes. And this char cuisine that I mentioned is really quite interesting for us, and it's something we're really focusing on, which is healthy recipes and giving you a healthier lifestyle. So we're 99% done. As you can see on the tablet, it's reached its 100% mark. It will tell me in a second that it's complete.
Recipe cooking finished.
There we go. Recipe cooking finished. Now, you saw there was nothing for me to do. All I did was prepare the ingredients, put them on the shelf. 22 minutes, I was answering questions. I could have been doing some more work from home, more productive for me, saving time for me, and making better use of my time, whilst a decent meal and a freshly cooked meal is done in the background. So there you see how it's done. Now, I think one of the most important things now is to taste the actual recipe itself. So let's just grab a spoon. And please do carry on with any questions that you may have. I'm happy to still answer anything. It's not a problem. I've got another question from Reba Architect. As automations and robotics become more prevalent and maybe less expensive, do you see a near future where colouring your robots will become par for the course in homes as other in kitchen appliances? Yes, the answer to your question is absolutely, categorically yes. Because at the end of the day, we brought a new product to market. It's a new product. We're the only one in the world that has a robotic arm that cooks a meal from start to finish. There are loads of other systems out there on the market, but ours is unique. Ours is fully patent protected, CE certified. It meets all the safety and machinery ISO standards. So for the UK and Europe. So it's a product that's ready for the market. It's an appliance. Initially, like any new product going to market, there is a high cost element, but as the volume increases, the price will decrease. So yes, we would say this is an appliance. People in other showrooms, in other kitchen environments could be selling induction hobs, ovens, integrated appliances, integrated robotic arm to help with the cooking process. There could be a need, there could be a disabled person, elderly people, people who could really benefit with an arm that can cook the meal from start to finish. So the benefits of the arm are huge. Definitely it's got for the future, it should be classed as just an appliance, and it's an appliance that everybody can buy, both in the residential and commercial. Okay, so let's try this lovely gnocchi because it smells good. My mouth is watering. I can't wait to just dive in. So let's just grab some gnocchi. As you can see here, I can see the sage. I can see the lovely, lovely sauce. And I'm going to actually show you the pot. I'm actually going to show you. I'm going to show you on camera exactly how it looks. The finished product. Again, I've not done anything with this. This has been cooked completely by the robot. So let's have a look. So there we go. Moley Robotics. You've got a lovely dish here of gnocchi, completely cooked by the robotic arm from start to finish. So let's give it a quick taste. It's important for you guys to see that, you know, it's actually cooked properly. Yep. Oh, the cheese is good. The sauce is good. There's enough salt in there. It tastes very healthy. I'll be happy with that. My family would be happy with that all day long. And next week we'll be cooking another recipe. So we'll announce what recipe we'll cook next week. Be another interesting one. We could do a char recipe, which is one of the recipes I mentioned earlier about high nutritional recipes that we have in our library. But just like to say thank you all for joining us. And if you have any further questions after this post, please do go on our website go through the contact us page and send in any of your questions or any requests. If there's something, a kitchen you're planning at the moment, or you know somebody that's doing a kitchen, send them our details and ask them to send us their plan of the kitchen, and we'll be happy to start designing. We can arrange a design meeting. Our showroom is open Monday to Friday for the industry, for the public, for everybody to come and have a look. We're always, every day on a daily basis, we're doing dry demos, we're doing actual demos. You can arrange an appointment for a design meeting, and during the design meeting, we'll do a full demo of an actual recipe being cooked and show you how to use and let you use the system, because it's so easy. Once you've used it once, it's absolutely easy. Like anything on your phone nowadays, like an app, you use the app once, you just use it, you can almost control it with your eyes closed. Well, you can, because you can voice control it. But anyway, so thank you all for joining us. Please do join us next week. We've got another interesting recipe, and have a great weekend. Thank you.